So there's going to be a shelf about 4 inches down, right, that the these funky little hinge things are going to go up against. They're going to kind of hide down in this shelf like that. And then I'm going to put a faux drawer front so you don't see the hinges underneath. And so yeah, there's going to be a shelf that connects the two ends to it, and then the top is up here, and then I'm also going to have a trestle down here just to keep it nice and stiff. And then we've got about 1 inch or 3 3/4, and I'm making the space from the top of the table, or the underside of the table, to the top side of this drawer shelf. It's going to be 4 inches, so I'll have a 1/4 inch of wiggle room there. Hopefully that'll work. So I'm going to be cutting a 1/2 inch dado across here that the tenons from the shelf are going to slide into. And then I'm going to do 3, 1 in the center, 1 at each end, through tenons that I'll sand flush and probably wedge them. So I've got my fence set up here at 4 1/8. So I'm going to have a 1/8 shoulder all the way around, so it's a 3/4 inch shelf, but the tenon's going to be 1/2 inch. So I probably didn't invent it, but I'd like to think that I invented it, and it's the best way for doing through tenons and lining them up from one side to the other. So as you saw, I did a channel along here with the router, and then what I do now that there's a channel with these shoulders, I just go around to the other side, mark out where my through tenons are going to go this way, and then I just measure to where my channel is, and then I take an undersized drill bit. So I did I think it's a 5/8 channel. So I'm just using a 7/16 drill bit, and then I drill just a hole through the channel. And this drill bit is a 1/16 larger than this 3/8 diameter flush trim. So now all I have to do is put my little flush trim in through that hole, and then the flush trim bearing on there will follow the channel on the other side and line up the through mortise perfectly with it. So All I have to do is just make sure I start and stop in the right spot. Perfect. So I've got this through tenon or through mortise angled here. So I'm doing a half dovetail. So when this piece comes in, it's gonna have a little dovetail notch on it. So it'll slide in like that and then drop down and lock onto that. Then I'm gonna put a wedge in the top so that it can't lift up and out, and that'll give it strength, hold the two ends together without having to do like a long tenon with a wedge this way. I only have to leave the tenon out a little bit when I do it that way because the wedge is on top. I'm just making a shoulder cut, and then I'm going to chisel this little section out here, and that's my half dovetail. And then the wedge will go on the top right here. Little sketchy vibe going on there. You know when you get the sketchy vibe and you're like, I might be missing a finger if I keep doing this. That's the vibe I was getting. So I stopped. That's what a safe person would do. Safety first. Handle. No screw. Just glue. Back to you. I knew that was good. Sorry.
Better stop your laughing or I'm going to bring out my glue up language.
Stop making fun of me. Remember that time you did a glue up and you got glue everywhere except for where you wanted to put the glue?
That'll probably be every glue up, so I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
This video is brought to you by Odie's Oil. I personally have been using Odie's products for well over 2 years, and they're my go-to finish for every project now because they make a product for pretty much every application. If you want to get your hands on a jar of golden glory, just click the link in the description box below. Y'all ready for this?
Oh, dang.
Sweet.
So I've got the top pieces in place, screwed into the hinges. I thought the gaps were going to be a little tighter, but by the time I screwed them in and then set them down, I ended up with a small 1/8 gap kind of where the joints are, which I think is fine for a coffee table. You know, it's like only adults are going to be eating at this, and they're not going to be slopping food everywhere. And you can lift these up and clean in the cracks if you need to. So I made the pieces bigger, obviously, because it's just way easier to do it that way. Oversize them, that way you can get them laid out and screwed to the hinges properly, and then trim it all square and parallel afterwards. So made my marks. I'm going to have a 1/4 inch overhang right here, a little bit more the rest of the way around. That's enough that you can, I think I might leave a little bit extra on the ends, maybe 1.5 inches or 1 inch, just so that it's easier to grab the edge of the table and lift it up.
That looks pretty good.
Think you know what time it is?
Odie's time. So I've got about a little less than a half jar here. Let's see how much it takes to
Shine this baby up.
So when I started finishing this with the Odes, the jar was about half full, and you can see that it's about a third full. So I didn't even use a quarter of a jar to do this whole table, and I'm going to put probably 1 or 2 more coats on. So you can see that, you know, one of these jars will do maybe 2 or 3 projects depending on size. This has a good amount of surface area with all these wide planks, so it does use up. So what I'm trying to say is, even though it's a small jar, I would wager that it goes as far as a gallon of any other varnish. So price comparison, I'd say that's pretty reasonable or competitively priced, and obviously the finish and look is superior in every way, in my opinion. So if you want to get your dirty DIY mitts on a can of Odes oil, just click the link in the description box below. Get yourself some of this sweet, sweet glory.